the ending of quantitative tightening? How is this going to impact Bitcoin? How is this going to impact crypto? How is this going to impact stocks and just the US economy as a whole? I'm WendyO. I talk everything crypto every single day. And we do talk a little bit about traditional finance because at this time, crypto is being vertically integrated into TradFi. So it's important to have these conversations. It's also important to kind of touch on what's happening with TradFi and these types of announcements. So the other day on the stream, we were talking about the stimulus checks, what's happening with tariffs, are we going to completely remove income tax, like what's happening in America? Because I personally believe that America has been in a recession. This is something I've said. I know a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. You can disagree with me all you want, but it's just kind of what I'm seeing on a personal level. I talk a lot about the job markets and just the different reports, and I don't think that a lot of those are accurate, primarily because when I actually go and I talk to people or family members, just different people in my community, a lot of people are having trouble making ends meet. They're having trouble finding jobs. They're having trouble with layoffs, all those types of things. So we have the public servants saying one thing, but then the fact of the matter is the reality is completely different. And it was also reported too that we had the largest Black Friday spending ever in America. It was up about 9.1%. This year compared to last year. And that's scary. You should be absolutely terrified about that. That's not showing strength in the economy in any way, shape, or form, unless people are using capital that they actually have and not taking debt out, because debt is a very, very dangerous thing if you don't know how to use it properly. So let's go ahead and talk about a little bit of a wrap up on the COB letter, what they said about the quantitative tightening ending, and just different things that we can expect in December, because again, that's going to impact all the markets. And when we're talking about the markets, it impacts everybody on a global scale because the US is one of the powerhouses and whatnot. First and foremost, big shout out to our channel members. Good morning to Mr. Lawrence. Good morning to Mr. Dale. And yeah, retail therapy is definitely something people do. I'm guilty of it. I do actually, I spend quite a bit of money at the thrift store every week, but that's neither here nor there. Don't judge me. Make sure you guys like this video and share it. So the COB letter, and I'm also in San Diego, California. If you see me at WWE tonight, if you're there, come say hi, please. I'll be there with VeChain. It's gonna be super fun. But so the COB letter put out this post. Trump saying he will keep stocks at record high, which that's 100% market manipulation. And again, public servants are able to do this. We see it in every single administration and whatnot. That's not my group. Hold on, let's get this person out of here. Heidi's on that channel. You guys, I don't have any paid groups or anything like that, so please be cautious when you see those things. So yeah, Trump's saying that he's going to keep stocks at a record high. And again, that is 100% manipulation. Like, that's literally manipulation. That's what a lot of people get in trouble for always, all the time. So he probably shouldn't have said that. He says a lot of those types of things. But at the end of the day, you can only pump stocks and keep them up so high until things don't end up working out. And again, the American taxpayer, we foot the bill for all of those, just like in 2008, like when we talk about the banks getting bailed out and whatnot. And I'm going to segue back into the spending that we saw on Black Friday and how dangerous that is, because I know exactly what people are doing, and I'm not shaming them for it. It's just crazy, because we're all going to end up footing the bill anyways. $600 billion a year in Magnificent 7 capex. Fed is cutting interest rates into 3% plus to kind of combat inflation, which we know inflation is super high, but this is the thing. We can play around with inflation rates all we want to do, all we want, 24/7, all day long. But at the end of the day is once you raise inflation and once the costs increase, those costs do not get lower. That's just not the way that it works. And right now, the type of corporate greed that we're seeing, and when I talk about corporate greed, I'm talking about like the massive large corporations, not the smaller guys, okay? Not those types of things, not the small business. I love capitalism. Capitalism is an American foundation. It's an American value. I've been able to do well with capitalism. I've seen a lot of small businesses do well with capitalism. I'm talking about the corporate capitalism that where these CEOs are making like $100 million a year. They're like what Walgreens did. They're paying their employees next to nothing, not giving them paid time off, that type of stuff. That's not okay. You can use capitalism for good, but once it gets to a certain level that we're seeing today, that's not okay. So let's not get that mixed up. So it is manipulated. It is terrible. So Global AI infrastructure spending at 1 trillion a year. So basically, the US is investing in AI, which when we talk about AI, how dangerous is that? Because when we're talking about AI, that's going to, if it's not done the right way, it's going to just kind of remove jobs from people, which we're already starting to see happen. Yes, you can use AI to your benefit. You're able to vibe code, do a lot of these things, and a lot of developers' jobs will eventually be becoming obsolete. But at the same time, I don't trust the way it's moving, primarily because we have the CBDC that's going to end up coming and the digital ID. We're already seeing that happen. Now, Fed ending quantitative tightening in 2 days. So this was posted on, I want to say Friday. So we're going to see quantitative tightening. We're going to see quantitative tightening happen in the beginning of December. Okay. People use agent AI, not simple AI. Yes and no, yes and no. So as far as quantitative tightening, it's reducing the money supply and shrinking the balance sheet to combat inflation. So that's what quantitative tightening was happening, and now they're ending it. Realistically, at the end of the day, it sounds like they're going to be printing more money. Which, if we put more money, if we print more money out of thin air, that's incredibly dangerous, and that's why Bitcoin exists. U.S. deficit spending at 6% of the U.S. GDP. NVIDIA is larger than all but five national stock markets, which is kind of scary because then it's AI. Yes, you're exactly right, Neil. Circle. Record corporate buybacks of 1.2 trillion are coming in 2026. So buybacks are basically when a company buys back their stock. Good morning, Mike. So we're talking about buybacks. We talk about a lot of the crypto, the DATs, the digital asset treasury companies. What they're doing is they kind of were failing businesses. They decided to pivot to crypto, but they did it at the top. They did it at the wrong time. So what they were doing is they were selling some of their crypto and then buying back that stock because the stock dumped so much. So we're seeing regular corporate companies do this. I'm not exactly sure where they're getting the money from. I think each individual corporation would need to be analyzed in that respect because we need to see where they're getting the money to buy back their stocks. And again, stocks are just literally, they're financial instruments that are printed out of thin air. It's an extension of, and crypto is an extension of the stock market. So that's a little bit worrisome. Trump says he will completely cut income taxes. Again, this is alleged. So I think it would be incredibly bullish if Trump does cut income taxes and we're able to. So the whole tariff thing that he was doing, he was trying to he was trying to fix the economy in America. And the economy is really so much, to me, it's completely destroyed. Like everything is destroyed. It's basically going to get, everything is going to shift over to crypto and everything is going to get that reset. That's my personal opinion because I'm not seeing any type of end in sight here, especially with the spending. So when he's talking about cutting income taxes, it would be alongside tariffs. So if we're able to make enough money with tariffs to where we can cut income taxes in some respect, that would be great because that's less money than American taxpayers have to pay. So then everything would kind of balance out and it would make things more affordable because Americans would have more money, essentially increasing the money supply for Americans. So we're able to afford things because the cost of goods and services are not coming down. That's just my opinion. Will that work? I have no idea. We'll see what ends up happening. Now, next, Trump promising $2,000 stimulus checks in 2026. We all know that the stimulus checks, those are grifts, those are bribes. It's basically our taxpayer dollars that we're getting back. And some people think that will merge into crypto and people will be buying the dip and doing all those types of things. Is that true or not? I have no idea. Me personally, if I'm struggling to make ends meet and I need to pick between feeding my daughter, paying my rent, or paying for energy, I'm making those payments first, and then I deal with investments later. Yeah, it basically does sound like 2020 all over again, and even an extension in 2008. So those are the types of things that are happening. So I would like very, very good. So fast out. Well, it impacts crypto because crypto is an extension of the stock market, and now we're getting absorbed into the stock market. Okay. Now, with that being said, taxpayers' stimulus checks are not taxpayer dollars. They're pre-evaluated, newly printed money. No, they're 100% taxpayer dollars because we foot the bill. But moral of the story is we don't exactly know how this is going to impact crypto. But if all of these things continue to work out and continue to bring more money back to Americans, I don't really want to talk about the stimulus checks and whatnot because I don't think that's enough to pump the market. But I do think that if we are able to bring more money back to the people as far as income taxes go, then that will definitely impact the markets. And another thing that is important to pay attention to is that we are seeing, like, everybody says that we're in this AI bubble and whatnot, but again, a lot of these AI stocks, they do follow crypto. So we'll see what ends up happening into Q1 of 2021, but a lot of the, or 2026, but a lot of these are coming into fruition, and it's going to be official soon with some of this stuff. So we'll see what ends up happening. I think maybe the most bullish thing would be the income would be removal of some income taxes, because again, it'll give people access to more money that they can spend. But at the same time, the end of quantitative tightening and playing around with the money supply, that's incredibly dangerous, and that does scare me a little bit. Because again, the government can just continue to print more money, and then the corporate buybacks as well for the stock. So that's what's going on with the markets. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at like $90,000, I think, and you know, Ethereum dropped a little bit below $3,000. Hopefully we get back up. But at the end of the day, we're still here. We're doing our thing, and this is what to expect in the beginning of the year. And of course, I'll have more updated information for you guys when it comes out, and we'll have these conversations. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Sending love and light. And if you're in San Diego at WWE, come say hi to me and the VChain team. I know, Mike, we hope for that. We hope that we have a very, very good Sunday pump.